Well, we have the college football prodigy back with us, Joel Norris. Welcome back to the show. How are you doing, buddy?
Man, I am pumped to be back on the Red Zone Blitz podcast. Every time I get back on, whether it's with you, G, or with Sam, or and Brandon Sam, I'm like sitting here going, dude, I'm just pumped. I'm
Yeah.
just so pumped just to see you guys, man. I'm so pumped to hear from you guys. I'm ready to talk about some college football, man. I'm
No, man,
excited.
for sure. What a crazy, crazy week. We're going to dive into all that stuff. We're going to talk about the college football playoff bracket, all that stuff. We have tons of new listeners that get joined onto this program, and they may not know who you are. So let's start with how did you start the Pigskin Frenzy, and what lane are you trying to create in your own college football media world?
Dude, that's a really good question. I started PigSkin Frenzy back February 2023. I was looking around because I was, as far as a lot of people may not know when they hear me, and they see me, they don't, I'm young. So I'm 25. All
Yeah.
right. I turned 25 back in September. And back in February 2023, I was 22 going on 23. And I was just now leaving college. And I was like, you know what? I'm applying for a lot of places, but I'm not really getting a lot of love. Let me just start my own thing,
Yeah.
bet on myself, start my own thing. And February 2023, from there to now, it's just grown and grown ever since. With number one, I give all praise to Jesus, man, my Lord and Savior. He
Yeah.
is amazing, and without him, I wouldn't be in this. So I think that's the lane I'm trying to create. Not just talk about college football, but to express my faith in this. Because without him, man, I wouldn't be doing this. And not only that, I really wasn't even supposed to be able to talk. I was supposed to be mute the whole time. I was told when I was, my parents were told when I was 2 years old that, hey, this guy's probably not going to talk. He's slightly on the spectrum. He's probably not going to be able to say much. And then here I am, and I won't shut up like I am, just talking right now.
Well,
So, yeah, dude. I mean, I think that's the lane I'm trying to create,
yeah.
faith based, but also just dive into college football.
No, man, that's amazing. And it's well appointed, the name college football prodigy. In terms of the wildest news week probably we've had in college football, segueing to that, how are you processing that both as a college football fan, but also a content creator?
Man, as a guy who is doing this for work, it is crazy and it's a little bit busy, especially with like just the playoff coming in and then all the coaching carousel stuff going on. It's kind of a lot to process because you got to talk about some stuff. This episode that I posted yesterday on Thursday was actually like one of the, I don't know, man. It was one of the shortest episodes I've had in season, just by myself at least. This was a week where I just did a by myself week with no really guest.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it seemed a little bit like less information filled, but still it was still heavy with information. It just not a lot of on field activity going on. It was mainly like the Heisman Trophy ceremony, all that stuff, which we'll probably get into in a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as a content creator, it is pretty busy. As a fan, it's wild to imagine because you're like it's just a bunch of twists and turns, a bunch of like a roller coaster, right, of emotions, and that's what makes college football interesting, but also kind of not fun at the same time, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. Before we dive into this wild week, where can people find your content? Give us a little plug.
Man, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and etc. Because we're on all platforms, man.
Yeah.
Pigskin Frenzy on all platforms. Follow and subscribe, man. We just got to 6,300 listeners,
Man, that's
about to
huge.
be at 6,400 listeners. We're gonna climb and climb and climb. Numbers on YouTube are going up, steadily going up, which is good. And we're just going to keep on climbing, man. Follow and subscribe on all platforms. You can find me on X and Instagram at pigskin_frenzy. And Instagram, like I said, is going up as well. So I'm pretty pumped about that as well. So find me on there as well.
That's huge, man. That's huge. Let's dive into it. Michigan.
Yeah.
What was your initial reaction to Michigan firing Sharon Moore?
Mm. Well, I had a feeling because someone said that a shock was going to happen.
Yeah.
Of soon, just wait and be patient with it. And I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I don't know. Do I, do I? I mean, I trust the person, right? But it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. And then all of a sudden, I was like, was this a shock you're talking about? Or
Yeah.
because this is pretty good, it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
The Michigan, out of all the jobs coming open, of course, Michigan would come open in this type of coaching carousel because we had Penn State,
Yep.
LSU, Florida, Auburn, Arkansas, you
Big
name it,
names.
open. Big school names, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes Michigan. I was shocked by the result of everything. I just was stunned, really stunned with it.
Yeah, it was. I remember seeing the notification come up from, I think it was the Adam Schefter tweet or X notification. And I was just like, wait, this is not parody. Like this is a real thing. And then more details started coming out. And we won't dive too much into the what ifs, and obviously nothing has been confirmed yet. There's a whole side of this story that hasn't been told. But what do you think this means for the program, the Michigan program, both long term, but also short term with Biff Poggi stepping in as an interim? Is this like a minor reset for them, or is this going to be a long road to recovery, I guess, for the Michigan program?
With Biff stepping in as an interim coach to coach the Citrus Bowl against Texas, which is hey, Brandon's really pumped about that one, I'm
Yep.
sure. Look, I think maybe there'll be some fire in the Citrus Bowl. I hope, but I mean we'll see. I don't know yet. I will think for just overall as they look for a new head coach, I do think they need to get a champion. I would say championship winning coach, but a winning coach that is capable of winning a title there, right? And going back and contending there, right?
Yeah.
I think they need a little bit of that. And I think they need a guy that is fired up to coach at Michigan, a guy that will embrace the fans, a guy that will utilize all the resources there because Michigan's a top 10 to 15 job. I said that back on PigSkin Frenzy this past Thursday, man. It's a big job in the
Yeah.
sport. So I think there's a lot of, I would say there does need to be a reset. And I don't think it's even minor. I think it probably is a little bit major with all the sign stealing, Connor
Yeah.
Stallions, all that stuff. All that stuff. Okay, now they're starting to laugh about it and joke and
Mhm.
clown. But like when this stuff starts coming out, like what we're seeing now, it's kind of not all that funny. And it's like, okay, we need to get Michigan back on track, play some
No.
winning football
Yeah.
and
100%.
go back to what they're doing. And then I'm not trying to like, and I know you said we're not going to touch on it, but me personally, I will touch on some of it. I was shocked. To me, and this is not me because of what he did, right? It's not me knocking on what he did at all. I said this on the show. I think they could, it's not going to be, no offense to him, it's not going to be hard to replace him. I'm praying for his
Yeah.
family, and I'm thinking about his
Yeah.
family. I am thinking about everything, and I hope that everything changes with his situation. And like I said, I pray to the Lord that everything goes well with him. I just think that it is, I think that Michigan's a top job, and I think they can get a really good coach in there to turn everything around.
Yeah. And I don't, it always blows my mind when guys make these mistakes and this is a career defining mistake. He
Right.
could go out and he could coach and he could even win a national championship somewhere else. And this will forever be a little asterisk on his legacy, no matter what he does. And it baffles me that time and time again we see mistakes from athletes, from coaches, and it's just like, do you guys not learn? Do you guys not
Right.
learn from the past mistakes of other people?
I'm all about second chances, man.
Yeah.
Because the Lord blesses us with second chances. He gives us second chances without he gives us third, fourth, and fifth chances, man. He is so good. But I will tell you this, man. With this and knowing how the college ball world is, they're gonna look at this whenever everything's dropped and everything, and he is maybe able to coach again one day, maybe, who knows? It's gonna be like, do we? Because this is different from Bobby Petrino, man. This ain't a Bobby Petrino type situation, man. This is a
Yeah.
little bit worse.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we really want? I don't know. It's like it's kind of skeptical, right? So who knows? But like I said, I'm praying for his family because his family needs the prayers. I'm praying for him, and I'm hoping that he changes and changes his ways. A lot of people, I said this on the show. A lot of people are going to be like, "Are you serious, man?" Look, man, it is. You don't want to see anybody hurt. I'm a loving person. I don't want to see anybody hurt, and I pray that
Yeah,
everybody
no,
goes,
I
everything's
don't
okay.
think
You know?
I don't think in the grand scheme of things this is a this should we should
Mm-mm.
we should never bring them into society ever again,
Heck no.
kind of thing. I think like you said, like I think you get second, third chances, fourth chances. People get many chances in life, and I think he's gonna get a second chance, and he'll be back. You'll This is not gonna be the end of his story, but it will be the end of this chapter at Michigan, and I think Wolverines fans are a little bit confused right now, but
Absolutely. Then they have every right to be confused. Like, what's going to happen?
yeah,
Especially after signing day. That was a plan, by the way. It was a
yeah,
plan. They got all their class together and they're like, all right, let's pull the plug. They did that on
exactly,
purpose, man.
100%. And I think that's like my next question is how does this impact recruiting and portal season? Because I feel like some of those recruits might feel lied to.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. They feel like, okay, I committed here for
And
him.
yeah, like this guy
So,
sold me on Michigan, and I'm here, and I talked to him, and he was a part of my recruitment and the whole thing, and they build that relationship, and all of a sudden Michigan decides now that you signed, now we're gonna get rid of him.
and here's my deal as well. The combat on that as well, like to piggyback off that. I think it's like funny with like risk recruiting and all that. Not only that, with Michigan overall, you thought about it was going back to him for a little bit with recruits. You while he was doing everything he was doing, and he
Hmm.
went 9-3, dude. Think about what they could do with a coach that
Focused.
is all in and focused.
Yeah, with a
Yes,
focused head coach.
that's a talented football team, man. And it was, I've been look. I was high on Michigan this year. A lot of people that probably didn't hear me as
Yeah.
much, but I was high on Michigan. I really was, dude. I mean, I thought that they were. I thought I picked them to beat Ohio State because I wanted Ohio State to prove me wrong on that, and they did. They made me eat my crow.
Yeah.
But dude, they were a talented football team this year with an established coach. Who knows? But with recruits, back to the recruits, yeah, it is confusing for them because they're like, okay, you sold me on the idea of Michigan. Now it's like, who's going to be here? I don't know what's going on during that, in the football program right now. The state's kind of like confused right now. Should I back out of my, financial aid scholarship? It's not, it's no longer a national letter of intent now.
Yeah.
It's, the scholarship financial aid stuff now, but like, should I sign out of the contract? Sure. Like, I mean, but a lot of people have already signed, so I don't know if they can back out or not, but yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
They can get into the portal, that's for sure. But it's like, I don't know, should I enter the portal or like what's happening? So I don't know. I think the one key recruit, and I know we'll move on. I would watch out for Savion Hitter.
Okay.
And I think if you that's the guy you need to keep. He was the one of the best running back recruits, if not the best running back recruit in this class.
Yeah.
And I think he's the guy you need to watch out, like you need to keep on, and Bryce Underwood as well. But him for sure. So
For
I would
sure.
watch out for him.
Now, in terms of candidates to replace Moore, can we get a short list, your short list of a realistic, maybe 2 to 3 candidates, and then one chaos candidate that you'd love to see?
I mentioned this on Pigskin on Thursday. So the names that I threw out, a lot of it's probably so. Here's my short list. If you want to give me three, a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy for this one.
Yeah.
I think Brian Kelly's in there.
Okay.
I know he didn't do well at LSU, but his success at Notre Dame was great, and he fits the North. So
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley's an interesting one. I think
Okay.
Lincoln Riley from USC is an interesting. A
Yeah.
lot of people are thinking, dude, you're wild right now. Why would he leave USC? You said on Pigskin he shouldn't leave USC, and I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this, dude. Michigan's an enticing job to
That
leave for.
job, man. That
That's an
job
enticing brand to leave for.
in college sports, that is a huge job.
Jed Fish is one as well. I think Jed Fish is one because he's a former Michigan assistant as well, and he's done really well at Arizona. He's done so far really good at Washington.
Yeah.
I think that he would be with the resources and the brand, and you can get the alignment together. He's a player's coach and he does care. He's not going to do. He's going to be all in.
If
Jedd
you
Fish is
get, yeah, if you get him some
he
resources, I think that's a good
oh
coach too.
yeah, dude. Michigan has the resources. They have the NIL funds. They have the budget. They have the facilities. They have the brand, everything, the alignments there.
Yeah,
I think if Jedd Fish goes there, he will win there. So those are my like short list, really. Mainly Brian Kelly and Jedd Fish. I'm gonna say one name, and that's for my chaos name.
yeah.
I know I said why would you leave? Don't think you will, but the chaos
Come
one will be
on.
Kalen DeBoer.
Yes, sir. That was mine as well. Kalen DeBoer from
That will
Alabama.
be that will be the chaos one. I
Yeah.
just don't see him leaving. I don't think he should leave because I think Alabama's a better job than Michigan. And a lot of people are going to say like, dude, it's Michigan. Yeah, it's Alabama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's up
So
there.
it's yeah, Alabama's the number one job in college football. You can if anybody wants to quote me on that, you're welcome to feel free to tag me. I believe it wholeheartedly. A lot of people are going to say, "Oh, dude, you're just saying that because Nick Saban." Yeah, I'm saying that because of Nick Saban. He made that job what it is today, like now in 2025. They had it down, and a lot of people are going to say, "Okay, I got a comment and said Bear Bryant made that job." Man, yeah, he did. He kickstarted the job. They had a good period with Gene Stallings as well, but then they had a down period where they weren't winning as much. Who came over and saved everything at Alabama? Nick Saban. He
Saban's
brought
a
them
different,
so
yeah, he's
he
a different
helped them
breed.
out and has 17 and 18 national titles and so many SEC championships. They are a championship minded program. Resources, NIL, all that's through the roof, bringing talent from all over the place. It is crazy. It is crazy. It's the number one job. It's the best job in college football, especially when you're following a legacy like that. And I get the pressure. I get all that. 100%. But here's the deal. He willingly left Washington to go there.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. He
Oh yeah.
knew what he was following after, but he did it. So why would he leave after 2 years? Because I can't handle the pressure? No, he's in the playoff as well. Also, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, well, if he doesn't do this, it's the pressure." Man, he made the playoff year two. You know who didn't make the national championship in year two? Nick Saban.
Yeah.
It was year three by the time they won their first SEC title and won their first national title in so many years since 1992. Right? It was year three. This man's doing stuff in year two. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know. I don't think he should leave, but it would shock me if he did.
Now, if Kalen DeBoer were to go to Michigan, and that would open up the Alabama job, and I know he just signed in LSU, but is there a world where Mr. Lane Kiffin does the most Lane Kiffin thing in the world and goes, I'm gonna, press my 30-day withdrawal clause here, and I'm gonna go over there to Alabama. Do you see anything of that sort? Because that's making a whole lot of rounds around the internet right now, where there's these theories that DeBoer is gonna go to Michigan, and then Lane Kiffin's gonna get the Alabama job, and LSU is gonna be stuck without a coach. Is there a possibility of that happening?
LSU's a top five job in the sport.
It's
Lane
no
Kiffin's
Alabama.
but it's not Alabama. You're
Yeah,
right. It's not Alabama. Alabama's the best job in the sport. I think, and Lane Kiffin said in his press conference that LSU was the best job in the country.
yeah,
I think that Alabama's just a tiny bit better due to the history behind it.
yeah,
I think LSU is a top five job though. I would place them probably even close to top three. I think they are that close. They really are. I think, but due to the championship history, due to the brand, the NIL budget, the resources, the facilities, everything is through the roof in Baton Rouge, man. It is awesome, top notch. High school recruiting, second
yeah,
to none. Louisiana, recruiting the state of Louisiana being the only major program in that state to recruit that well and to recruit against others. Like you don't have that recruiting competition like everybody else does. So it's like you own that state, kind of like Ohio State within Ohio. You own that state in Louisiana. So Lane Kiffin's got it, and he's got the keys to the kingdom there, dude. Like Verge Osberry said, you know what? Run this. You're
yeah,
good. We're gonna leave you alone. Do what you want to do. That's what he wanted to hear. That's why he didn't go to Florida because Florida didn't offer him that really. LSU
yeah.
did. So I think Alabama would probably too. Now I will say this: would he? I don't know because right now it is so unpredictable. Lane is an unpredictable guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope to have him on Pigskin Frenzy one day. I don't know though. It would be very interesting to see, but Would I think so? Probably not, because I don't really think DeBoer is going to leave regardless.
Yeah.
But I do think that apparently anything's possible in the sport. So that will be my answer on that one.
Chaos all around. Chaos all around.
Absolutely.
No, that was a great analysis of the Michigan situation. I'm glad we got that out of the way because now we can talk about the college football playoffs.
100%, man.
What was the first matchup that jumped out to you as a must watch?
I think the matchup that jumped out to me, well, there's two. There's two. I mean, I'll go with the
You can
first
give us
matchup to
both. You
me.
can give us both. Yeah.
I think the first matchup at first that popped out was Miami A&M.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Texas A&M responds after losing, especially by 10 on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to be very curious to see how motivated they come in. I'm also very curious to see how motivated Miami comes in because now they're in a, to me, all right, we made it in. We're not going to screw this up mentality, right?
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how that's going to go. I'm not making my picks until Thursday. So, or coming up this Thursday, I have a very special guest picker, which I'll probably announce
Awesome.
on Monday and or Tuesday on PigSkin Frenzy. So keep on plugging in, guys. Follow and subscribe on all platforms. But Miami and A&M, man, I think it's a very interesting game there. I think Oklahoma and Alabama is very interesting as well. So I'm kind of leaning towards that one too, only because it's a rematch. It's in Norman, and are we going? What Alabama team are we going to see?
Yeah.
I've
The
you already
inconsistency
know
with
me.
Alabama is the real
Ex-
question.
exactly, man. And you already know me how I feel about it. A three-loss non-conference team, non-conference champion team shouldn't get in. I've always said that.
Yeah.
And I get their resumes wonderful. Their resumes wonderful.
Yep.
I just don't they lost. And I think the volume of losses should matter. Do you know who they also lost to? The team they're playing in the first round. So
Yeah.
I don't know what Alabama team we're going to show up. Are we going to see Alabama from October, who was okay? This team looks like a national championship team, or are we going to get the when we first entered November against LSU and they kind of looked kind of scrubby, and then they played OU and they lost, and they played Eastern Illinois and they still didn't look all that good. Then they played Auburn and they were like, barely got by on that one, and
Yeah.
then you're playing Georgia and you got blown out. So who are we? What are we doing? You know what Alabama team are we going to see? So I'm curious about that, and I'm curious to see if OU's offense is going to show up as well.
Yeah, 100%. Now, when it comes to seating at the top, you spoke a little bit about Alabama and, like, do they deserve to be there? Um, what do you think the top four, who was slotted right and who wasn't out of that four? Would you change anything out of the four teams that are slotted up there? Or let's say even the top six teams. Would there be any sort of change? Or do you think the committee got it
Uh,
right?
Surprisingly, I do think they got it right. I think the only really disagreement that I had, I guess compared to my frenzy playoff rankings that I
Yeah.
do, was I had Ohio State at 4, and I put them at 4, Texas Tech at 3, Georgia at 2, and then Indiana at 1. But it was the same besides flip flopping 4 and 2. 4 was Texas Tech, and then 2 was Ohio State.
Yeah, no,
So I think that's
I
really
agree
the
with you.
only thing. Yeah, I think that's
I
really the only thing. But
I think Tech is going to be a monster in these playoffs.
yeah,
That's my pick. I think Tech is. We talked about this early on in the season. They
yeah, we
invested a
did.
whole ton of money into that line, and they are going to be a monster to deal with
Oh,
come these playoffs.
Texas Tech's doing a great job. Joey McGuire's doing a fantastic job as well, man. He's getting his money's worth. Let me tell you that, dude.
Yeah,
He really is getting his money's worth. Their defense is stout. Their offense is good, but their defense is stout, man. Rodriguez and Roberts playing linebacker, man, are just solid, dude. And I really am high on them. Do I think they're going to win it all or not? I don't know. We will
yeah,
see. But dude, winning their first ever Big 12 title, they're making a run, dude. A
yeah,
historic run. They haven't nobody has seen Texas Tech like this. I mean, they haven't seen them like in a top situation like this in a minute because they were a top team back in like '08. But
yeah,
I'm gonna say like make a run like this, like Big 12 title, and then in the playoffs trying to go for a title. no one's seen this in football for Texas Tech in quite some time. So the aura is different, and I think as long as Joey McGuire keeps doing what he's doing, it's probably going to stay that way in the Big 12.
Is there any lower seed you think could actually make a deep run?
I think if Alabama gets right, as in plays like they did against October, yeah, I think they can make a run.
Okay. I know some
I think
Alabama fans are gonna be happy to hear this.
I think if Bama, yeah, if Bama plays like they have been like in October, yeah. If Bama from November shows up, then they could probably potentially get upset in the first round.
Yeah.
I think Miami could, and I think Oregon could. A lot of people aren't really focused on Oregon a lot, and a lot of people think that, okay, look at who's Oregon's played, all this stuff. Dude, Oregon's been kind of dominant in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did drop that game against Indiana, but here's the deal. Indiana is a monster of a team.
Indiana's number one in the
Indiana's
nation.
number one in the nation.
Yeah.
They're Fernando Mendoza, dude. Like, they're great. They went into Austin Stadium and beat them.
Yeah.
Kirk Cincinnati wins, dude. Google him. He said it. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think Oregon's a good team, though. And I think they can make a run. So I wouldn't underestimate them. But I think those are my three. I think Miami, Bama, and Oregon.
Are there any storylines like okay, so a lot of people won't, they won't watch college football as, every week, but they'll tune in when the playoffs are on or they'll tune in when bowl games are coming on. Are there any storylines with these college football playoffs that like the casual fans probably are sleeping on that they should tune in for?
That's a good question. I think, I don't know. I think where are the heads of Ole Miss at? I think that's a really good question.
Yeah.
And that's a good storyline there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are kind of sleeping on that now because everyone's assuming, oh, they're going to, it's a rematch with Tulane. They're going to beat the brakes off of them. And look, it could happen. John Summerall's a really good coach, though. He's going to Florida now. I'm a John Summerall guy. I've said it so many times on Pigskin. I
Yeah.
probably said it on past episodes when I appeared on y'all's show. He's a really good coach. Now that Pete Golding's there, because I know Lane Kiffin's at LSU now. Now that Pete Golding is there, they're getting all their guys back on the offensive staff before they jump ship to LSU. That's going to tick a lot of people off
Yeah.
before they jump ship to LSU after the season's over. Where are the heads at from the staff, the fans? Are they locked in still?
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people, it's easy to sit there and say, we're locked in. It's easy to say that, but now you got to go out there and prove it. So I think that is a key storyline for me. Is Ole Miss truly locked in? I think that's a playoff storyline that a lot of people probably aren't looking at because, oh, it's Tulane, right? But Tulane won their conference championship. I know they're a group of five, but still, they won their conference title. But
Yeah.
look, man, are they locked in? That's a good question right there for me.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I think like how's the prep going? Like how are the players responding to this news? And there's conflicting reports of Lane Kiffin saying the players were, accepting of his decision, and other people are saying the players hate Lane Kiffin's guts. So it'll be interesting to see where Ole Miss goes and how far they go. Because that was a fun team to watch this year. It's unfortunate that, we couldn't see Lane Kiffin coach in the playoffs with them, but that's Lane for you. That's
Yeah, he
that's
wanted to.
yeah.
He wanted them. He wanted to be in there, but man, I guess that LSU opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
100%. Speaking of teams that are passing up things, Notre Dame opting out of a bowl game.
Yeah.
You think this is a power move or is this a bad look? Or maybe something in between?
Who? I would think power move maybe in Notre Dame's eyes. I think it's a bad look for Bowles.
Yeah.
I mean, I said it on Pigskin as well. Everything's reverting back to me in my show, but I've said this plenty of times. Well, really plenty of times, just on the show. It is what they did, and I know Iowa State did it. I know Kansas State did it. I know Baylor did it. Probably because of different reasonings. I mean, Iowa State and Kansas State are getting new coaches,
Yeah.
right? So kind of funny how the Dublin game when we were on the Red Zone Blitz podcast, they were starting off in Dublin week 0. Now they're getting new coaches and it's a whole different look for next year. So that's crazy
Yeah.
to think that. It all comes full circle for us. But dude, when we're talking about Notre Dame opting out because they were the like actual playoff contending team. They were one of the only playoff contending team. Well, they were the only playoff contending team that I just mentioned there out of those teams.
Yeah.
And then they miss it and then they opt out of a bowl game because they didn't get in. Oh, since we didn't get in, we're not playing a bowl game.
Yeah. I'm taking my ball and
Basically,
going home.
basically what you're telling us is bowl games are kind of meaningless.
Yep.
Here's the deal. If it was the 14 playoff, would you have opted out of the bowl game? Probably not, because you're in a New Year's Six bowl at that point.
Yep.
And a New Year's Six bowl is, it's still prestigious. It's not like there'll be some bowl games in the playoff, right? Like 2 bowl games, and then the other 4 bowl games that are not in the playoff that year are New Year's Six bowls, right? Now all the New Year's Six bowls are playoff games because it's a 12-team field. So it decrease the value of a bowl game. Man, I love the Pop Tart Bowl as much as anybody, right?
100%.
I love the Pop Tart Bowl. I'm hoping to get down there. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to see what happens if my schedule can line up. But dude, it is a great bowl game, and bowl games are fun. I love bowl games. I'm a traditionalist, so I love those games.
Yeah.
But it is that playoff or bust mentality is kind of killing it, right? So I think that's what it is. It's killing bowl games. So I'll say for bowl games, it is kind of a disappointment because you're kind of if this keeps going, it's probably gonna effectively kill bowl games. But for Notre Dame, maybe in their eyes, it's a power move because they're guaranteed a playoff spot for next year. I don't know if you
100%.
know that. If they finish in the top 12, they're guaranteed a spot.
Yeah. And look at their schedule. Not
Yeah.
that hard. It's not that hard to probably go undefeated even for
They
them.
they gotta lose. They gotta lose at least. They gotta lose 3 games probably to not get
To
in.
not get in exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty cupcake schedule for them. Now, what would actually fix the bowl season? Would it be money, tie-ins, playoff expansion? Like, what would you think fix it?
Playoff expansion would kill it. I
Yeah.
think would kill it. I think playoff expansion would kill bowl games because that's decreasing bowl games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're bringing more games to campuses. You're bringing more teams into the playoff, and then less teams are going to be in bowl games, right? So I think you're killing the bowls a little bit as the
Yeah.
playoff goes. Um, it's a good question. I'm trying to think how to word it. I really wish we wouldn't have. And this is really, I guess, it's not really an answer, but
Mhm.
and I can answer. I'll answer it on top of this. I think that, and this is my wish. I really wish we wouldn't have gone to the 12 team. I really wish we would have gone to at least 8
Yeah.
or something like that. In a way, I like the 12-team playoff. Don't get me wrong. I think we should stay at 12. I don't think we should move up. I really don't. I think because we got a system that's working sort of right now. This is one of the only years where I think the committee got it right, flat
Yeah.
out right. So it's like, okay, let's keep it going in that direction. But I really kind of wish we wouldn't have moved and expanded because now you're killing the bowl games. And you are. You're the future of the bowl games that we love. We love watching bowl games, dude. We love watching these teams randomly just be selected for bowl games and compete. And it's like that's an interesting matchup. Like Clemson
Yeah.
and Penn State. I didn't think they were gonna play each other. Who knew? And then they play each other, and it's like this is a very interesting game. Stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it kills bowl games. What would help bowl games? One, not expanding the playoff, right? Don't do
Okay. Yeah.
that. Maybe more money, yes. And I think just yeah, I think that's really the only answers I can give, dude. I mean, just don't ex, don't expand the playoff, and then funnel more money as well. And try to convince teams to like, hey, these bowls matter. Figure out a way to convince these teams that these bowls still matter, and try to get them to have the willingness to compete.
Now, in terms of direction, I think you were that's very valuable insight when it comes to bowl games, especially. But when it comes to the future of college football, what do you think this season indicates? What kind of outlooks do you take away from this season when it comes to the future of college football?
That I think, just to go back to what I was saying about the bowl games and all that, that this could signal the end of it. And I hate that because I love bowl games. I think this could signal the end of it if teams keep doing like what Notre Dame did,
Yeah,
and if it gets worse. I think that it tells us that we need a committee. That's 100% certain.
yeah,
I hope the prodigy of college football is on that committee within the
yes,
next
sir.
5 to 10 years.
Yes, sir.
Um, I just think that it's going to tell us that we need a committee and a chair. Whether that's, I mean, Josh Pate likes to say that he's the commissioner of college football. Whether it's him or whether it's I would love Nick Saban to do it, obviously, because Nick Saban's the brightest guy in the
Yeah,
room and knows everything when it comes to the sport. I think it tells us that we need a committee because I think it tells us right now that while it is fun to look and to see the chaos behind it, it is still a broken system and it does need to be fixed and there needs to be order in that. So I think the next 3 to 5 years are going to be telling on where the sport's going. And I think that it's telling us a little bit. If you ever see Metal Gear Solid, you've heard
yeah,
the sound, like the alert, like duh,
yeah,
duh, like that.
yeah,
It's telling Metal Gear Solid alarm is just popping up in front of our faces, and we're just going la da 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 as we're driving off the cliff,
yeah,
and we're sitting there like, oh, dude, you're ignoring the signal. Do not go all, do not drive, right? Yield. And you're not yielding, you're just going straight through it. Going
yeah,
off the cliff. There's no road there, dude. Road's closed for a reason. You're gonna fall.
100%.
And if we don't get a hold of college football in that way, like if we don't get a system where we can have some more ground rules, people are gonna start driving off cliffs, man. And in a metaphorical sense, you know what I mean? They're gonna
Yeah.
start. It's gonna start, getting a little bit more chaotic, if that makes sense.
Well, that moves me to my next question about chaos. Do you think the constant chaos in college football helps or hurts fan engagement?
You said it hurt. You said it helps or hurts fan engagement. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like, do you think it helps fan engagement or does it hurt it? Having it be so chaotic all the time.
I think both. I think a lot of people love the storylines.
Yeah,
I think for the diehards, it hurts them because they're like, I just want to talk about college football, the game on the field, and all the storyline antics are it's kind of a turn off for me, right?
yeah,
And it turns people away. So I think it's a little bit of both.
gotcha.
Honestly, I think for me, I think the chaos is there and it's interesting to talk about, especially when you're in the field that I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of in a way like, oh, okay, let's talk about some of these games because I want to talk about what's happening on the field
Hmm.
because some of these matchups are still exciting.
Yeah.
So
No, that's fair. I know you got to run, so we got a rapid fire close for you. So quick and easy, rapid fire questions. Let's start off. Michigan head coach in 2026.
Jed Fish. I think Jed Fish will. Maybe. I'm thinking Jed Fish will probably end up having that job.
All right, way too early. 2026 champion.
Whew, I don't know about that. Um, I'm kind of debating on that one. I'll say who I'm leaning towards.
Sure, let's hear it.
Who I'm leaning towards. I think Georgia. I'm leaning towards Georgia right now.
All right, the blue blood at risk.
If they don't get it right, LSU.
Okay, Lane Kiffin. Spiciest take that you're scared to tweet right now.
Man, spiciest take. I don't know, man. That's kind of tough. Probably that one.
Okay, all
Probably
right,
that one. What I just mentioned.
LSU.
If yeah, if if this doesn't work out with Lane, they're probably on the verge of irrelevancy. I think that's one that I'm
Boom.
scared to talk
Boom.
about. And LSU fans are passionate, dude.
My
They're,
days. My days.
but the thing, and here's the deal, though, dude. And I'm not trying to be wrong for saying it, but dude, they keep further slipping down and missing the playoff. And it's like Brian Kelly all over again. And I don't think it will be. I have full confidence in Lane Kiffin, man. I think he's
Yeah.
going to do great at LSU. I think LSU is going to get back on top with him with Lane Kiffin. I really do. But just in the worst case scenario that it does, is another Brian Kelly all over again. Uh, are you really relevant enough now? And still a top job, maybe, but could it further go down the totem pole? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's a tweet that you could get out there, and you're like, oh shoot, well, you're gonna get a lot of heat for that one. So,
Yeah.
but hey, if you can clip it, but
There you
I
go.
don't, I don't, I don't care. I embrace it. So
There you go. There you go. All right, last one. You're brand new to college football. You could go to any college football home game in 2026. Which stadium do you go to?
in 2026,
Yeah. See any home game.
to see any home game, I'm gonna tell you what, man, we're gonna go back to Lane
Okay.
because
Death Valley.
no, Oxford.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I think if you're a fan, you're probably going to want to tune in to September 19th, 2026.
I see where you're going. Yep. Yep.
And I'm probably going to end up trying to go down there for that one in
That's
Oxford.
gonna be something, man.
Yeah, when Lane returns to Oxford, I think you're gonna if you're a college football fan and you're like it's seeing all the chaos that's happening right now, you're going to want to try to
I'm
tune into
gonna
that one.
try to as well. I'm gonna try to pull some strings and see if I can make it down there for that game because that's
Yeah,
gonna
dude,
be
because
a spectacle.
yeah, and that's why. And I mean, you go to Death Valley, dude. I mean, Tiger Stadium is a great atmosphere. I'm not saying that at all, but I will tell
Yeah.
you what, the hostility that's going to happen in Oxford that week is going to be the tension. You can cut it through a knife. It is
It,
going to be something, man.
it's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. Listen, Joel, when are you coming back on the show? Because we could have talked for another 2 hours today. We're a little tight on time, of course, but w- we got to have you back on the show. And then we also, if you guys don't follow him already, Pigskin Frenzy, on all the socials and basically any podcast platform right now. So,
100%.
Joel, man, I really appreciate it. We got to have you
Absolutely, man.
back. We got to make this a regular thing. There's tons to talk about. You're incredibly you provide a lot of education about college football that like casuals or people that are new to the sport really appreciate. So I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of our wild journey this season.
Hey man, I'm glad to do it, dude. I'll appear during the off season, during the regular season, whatever you want me, man. I will be a recurring guest. So hey dude, look, we'll continue everything and I'm just glad to be on, man. I appreciate you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Well, there he is, the college football prodigy, Joel Norris, everybody. Thank you again, Joel. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely, man.